And we are off. We have Speedman on the left, thomasyim on the right. I do believe that Speedman looks like he's playing on some sort of console from the quality of his video, and Thomas seems to be playing on an emulator. Both are legal, both are allowed for any sort of time. I think that there might be versions of the game that are marginally faster or slower within like a second, so it may or may not matter in this. However, we are watching both runners complete the first room. That inhale there was to try and manip the Poppy Bro into throwing that bomb. However, it just did not happen for Thomas. So he seems to be on the wrong seed, it seems. Speedman looks like he's continuing with the manip. Now, in this first room, it's more just like movement, or rather first level, and knowing when and where to damage boost, as well as managing all the sprites on the screen. So the fact that this is an old, like, original Game Boy game means that you have to deal with things such as sprite limits and dealing with things on the screen. The more things and objects on the screen that you have, the slower the game will run, so the slower you will finish, because RTA is the only thing that matters here. Thomas getting 2 puffs from Wispy, that is somewhat unlucky. Could have been worse. But optimally, he doesn't puff at all, as happened with Speedman. I think that was a 130 star grab. And Thomas, because of the Poppy Bro dance and because of Wispy, is about 9 seconds behind right now. World 2, Castle Lolo Lala, Lolo La La La. 3 of them, sorry. But in this, there are multiple ways to actually go through this boss fight, but for the most part, there's not much randomness in getting through the actual level itself. Randomness does come into play in this first mini boss fight right here. However, we figured out a way to manipulate it, so every single jump that Speedman does is with intent. He's making sure that the Lolo walks to the top level. And Thomas is getting lucky here, it seems. I don't know the manip that he's doing. Speedman just grabbed the curry up there, which is one of the 2 possible ways to try and kill Lolo and La La La. Curry kill can be faster, as long as you do the movement very well, get the damage boost and good movement like he did. And it looks like Lolo and La 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 are in the wrong places. However, he gets the 2 cycle, which is very good. Thomas does not go for the curry kill, so he's actually made up some time, it seems. And I will try to figure out if he has. Finishing the dance at 2:57. Thomas finishing the dance. 3:06. So Thomas has not made up any time from that. Ooh, Speedman taking an unfortunate damage boost back rows from that cannon shot right there. That is somewhat out of character for him. I am no good at Bubbly Islands, this movement right here, and I always mess it up. I always do something different every time. If it works, I just don't remember what I've done. However, there is little to no randomness in it, and as long as you learn and grind the movement for at least a little bit, you shouldn't have much of a problem. This whole level in itself doesn't have much luck in regards to it, besides the Kabula fight at the end. Now there's a curry right there, but it's actually slower to grab it just because it slows down the frame rate of the game. And you can actually walk by a lot of these enemies, and it's just as good. Yep, Speedman going to the whale, waiting for a little cutscene. Thomas getting a star grab right now. Still a relatively close race. This is, as the title of the tournament implies, could be decided by Cracko. So for Kabula, she's a blimp, and you just go up in her blimpy face and hold the B button, and it just kind of does enough damage to her. If you're at a lot of health, you could just stand there and tank everything. If you're at lower health, you might want to play further to the left of the screen to have more time to react to the bullets being shot. Because let's face it, when you're up in her face, you have no option, really. So up we're coming to Bubbly Clouds. Again, the early part of this does not have a ton of randomness in it, and is all movement, Thomas making a slight mistake there. Those enemies right there are Scarfies that Thomas just killed. They create an explosion, and if you hit the little dust cloud from its death animation, then you actually take 2 damage. So not only does it hit you backwards, but it does, which is very unfortunate. And killing these enemies on screen, Thomas is doing some lag mitigation, while Speedman's getting into the little cloud labyrinth area. Not much of a labyrinth when you know exactly where to go. And upcoming is the Cracko Jr. fight. You just walk to the left of the screen and wait for him to drop some bombs. Or you could stand right there in that spot that Speedman is doing. It's a bit of a flex. So it's a lot easier to just position yourself all the way to the left. So, as Thomas is doing right now. Either of those spots work, I guess. He could just make me eat my words like that. Alright. Okay, so it is best of 5. So, what Speedman's done right here is the background glitch. It offers no tactical advantage, but it looks cool. You get little textures over Kirby. And that happens when you inhale the mint leaf, the thing that makes you float like that, while hitting the water at the same frame. I actually don't know if it's faster. I don't know if it's slower at all, because it feels like it should be slower, but it looks cool. And what else really matters besides looking cool, huh? So you go from mint leaf section to curry section and just destroy a bunch of blocks. And go into the float up in this next room that Speedman is in. Thomas almost falling in that little gap right there. And coming to the Cracko fight. Thomas loading up. And Cracko has multiple different options here. He can either drop a Waddle Doo, he can swoop like that, or he can do a beam attack. Between each Waddle Doo drop, Cracko has to do one of the other options. Speedman seems to be doing the minute very well. And Thomas struggling with Cracko a bit. But again, none of this is really his fault. It's more of just the game. Oh, and that was very good for Thomas. He gets a fly right there. And, ugh. Cracko just setting Thomas even further behind. Speedman going for Wispy first. I don't know if this is part of the manip, but most people typically go for Lolo and Lala first because it's closest to where you drop. So you, it's less walking distance. It's technically the fastest one to get to first. After that, it doesn't matter which one you go to next, because you spawn in the middle of the room, so, it's no different. However, I'm kind of unfamiliar with this. So Thomas does do La 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 first, and he is taking the damage boost. Ooh, that's a very good jump over. La 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 right there. Can he get the second hit? And he can. Thomas seeming to get a 4-cycle, while Speedman going into the Kabula fight with full health yet. So typically in Kabula and you're going to take some damage, you just don't want it to add up to 6. You typically want to have more than 1 health going into DDD though, in case you make a execution error. Oh, that was very well done by Speedman, avoiding every hit from the gun ship. Let's see how Cracko treats Thomas. Both runners going to Cracko dimension, or in Cracko now. Speedman executing very well. The manip is going perfectly for him. Thomas seems to be losing even more time on this, which is quite unfortunate. Not going for the swag jump. Actually, I don't know which one of those is the swag jump, but he got both jumps, and I think that's pretty darn cool. Let's see how Speedman handles Lolo Lala, while Thomas handles Kabula. Both of them could take damage here, but I don't think it's going to be consequential, because they both have enough health. Good execution from Speedman to get that first double. And the second. And the third. Very good job from Speedman. Thomas going into the tree, while Speedman enters DDD. So Speedman was the one who labbed out all of these manips, so he's good at them. And the double hit from the jump. Tremendous job. And another double. Terrific. This is an insane pace that Speedman's on right now. Like, just for a typical person, a typical run. This is unbelievable. And another double hit. A 10:56 for Speedman. Just for context, a sub 11 was essentially impossible for pretty much until a few weeks ago. A definite round of applause for Speedman as he takes this first game soundly. Thomas taking the death on DDD. I missed that. I was sorry, I was just excited over Speedman. I think that's beaten most everyone's PBs, that run. Thomas getting 2 double hits there. Very good job from him. And another. That was a very good ending for Thomas. And while almost a minute slower than Speedman, 11:54 is still a pretty good impressive race time. Like, that could beat most other people in the bracket. Tremendous showing from both runners this first race. So we're waiting on the next race for now. But I must say, very good job from both runners in this first race. Special thanks to Bubby. And it looks like both runners are ready for the next race. Hopefully we'll get started very quickly. Yep, we just need to wait for both runners to ready up in the chat. The speedrun room. So, pretty much, this game was considered good to have really good to have a sub 12 time when I first started running this game a couple of years ago, and then more and more people started getting sub 12 times. It went from being like only the top 20 had sub 12 times to like the top 40 having sub 12 times. Yeah, so that at that period in time, it was a lot of just RNG grinding. Some people got the leaderboard very fast. Some people stayed in the same position for months, and it was just an RNG fest then. So that's where all the RNG Megaly memes come from. Some lag on Speedman's stream. But now Speedman has, from his, thousands and thousands of attempts, has noticed that sometimes the RNG advances certain ways when he does certain things. Now in this game, RNG advances when a star is created from Kirby jumping into a wall, or when Kirby inhales. That advances RNG. And he's figured out how to find the seed that he is on and manipulate it to a favorable RNG standpoint. So with that, we are on our way again. And if you notice, the first room for the runners will be super similar. Pretty much identical, sometimes. We seem to be having some trouble on Speedman's side. Speedman lives. Yeah, honestly, it could look like tasks to the people who don't know what's going on. It could look like splicing as well with all this frame dropping. Mingly. But as you see, these runners do the same thing to try and advance RNG in the same way. I think... I can't tell. It has some... There's some way you can tell what the RNG is by which way your star flies on landing, I believe. Or I'm just pulling that out of nowhere. I'm sorry, not the forefront scientist in this game. But both those players jumping, as you saw, to try and get the good cycles from Wispy. So now, Thomas, keeping the good manip through the first level, and we have a very close race into World 2. Oh yeah, we have a very, very close race into World 2. When you can actually see what's going on. OP. So, right now, sorry, Fiesel is trying to fix some of the frame dropping on Speedman's screen. But it doesn't seem that much is going to improve. It's difficult. Both players getting the second low high. However, it seems that Thomas has dropped the manip by getting the first low, first low, and then the second lowest low. No, sorry, and the top low, then second lowest low. Thomas is not going for the curry kill right now, so he appears to be ahead, but we will see what happens in this fight. A perfect curry kill is one cycle. Like that. Very well done from Speedman again. And while Thomas entered the fight significantly before him, he's actually coming out of the fight very much behind. About 6 or 7 seconds, I do believe. again, this second... I'm just going to call it Orange Ocean, because that is... I'm bad at it. I'm bad at both Orange Oceans. This and Nightmare in Dreamland. However, we will not. We will see that at a later date. A lot of straightforward managing things. So when you have to like inhale from a distance, Kirby slows down. But if you're able to like inhale as he's pretty much standing on top of it or below it, like the closer it is to Kirby, he can pretty much just move while inhaling things, as you will see with some examples. Yeah, kind of like that Bronto burp right there on Speedman's screen. Yep, pretty much 4 minutes flat to the star, just about. Oh, Thomas unfortunately getting hit by that hermit crab. Thomas 11 seconds behind now. So Speedman, looking like he's getting a manip. I don't know what it looks like. I've just seen MK Cocoon jumping up a bunch of down there when he's mad that he dropped the manip. He's like, where is this star going? Why won't you work? Shoutouts to the D-Gens. But, you know, Speedman getting through that fight very well. Thomas, also doing a good job. And we are into Bubbly Clouds now. Again, this room is not the easiest execution, however, it's straightforward, you don't have to worry about much. It's just whatever that last Bronto break does, whether or not you have to duck. And lag mitigation on Speedman's side. And for Thomas. Getting through well so far for Thomas. Speedman in the Labyrinth. I kind of tend to mess up here a decent amount, honestly. Very good movement from Speedman to land right on that ledge in front of that Scarfy, but not jump into it. Very well-timed jumps, and very well-positioned jumps. Thomas just trying to do the same thing, but messing up. Ooh, Speedman missing the background glitch. Yeah, not much to talk about in this screen right here. Besides the fact that, a lot of these parts of the level, in, especially here, like the block breaking that Speedman's doing, and now Thomas, is referenced in World 7 Level 6 of Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. It's a really cool retro thing. And Kirby's Adventure. Sorry, I always think Nightmare in Dreamland first because that's the game that I run. So, yep. Speedman. Actually getting 2 things not in a row. Does he still have the manip going? It doesn't seem that he does. I mean, he's done the same as I think 2 times in a row. Cracko, I mean. This might be Thomas's chance to pull ahead. Keeping it very close. They're within 1 damage of each other. Yeah, Speedman kind of dropped the manip here. But he gets lucky enough from Cracko while Thomas is... yeah, getting a Ming lead. I don't know. Is that a verb? Yeah, Thomas getting very unfortunate at the end of that Cracko fight. He's not going to want to have to relive that one. So Speedman no longer has the minute, and neither does Thomas. So this race really could come down to the Cracko fight. I mean, if Speedman does get a poor Cracko like Thomas did in the first fight, it could be even again. Thomas just not having a great time with the low la 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 either, so I don't know what's going to happen. Both runners fighting Cracko. Oh, about to be. Ooh, and this is a light fight. We're back on it. This just really isn't going as perfect as it could be for Thomas right now to try and catch up. Both of them have average luck right now, and average luck is not enough to make up time when it's both of them. It's going to be quite tough for Thomas to come back now. So MK Cocoon Cracko did not have anything to say about it. However, Speedman taking some damage, only at 3 health, but that's more than enough for him to get the good DDD. However, it does limit him from going for double hits. But Thomas only at 4 doesn't give him, again, enough of a significant advantage. Both runners going to tree. Speedman marginally ahead. Been the story of this whole race. Ooh, Speedman accidentally jumping into Wispy's face! This isn't good. This is not what he needs. This is not what Thomas needs. The 6 puff? Ugh, horrendous. We hate to see it. But Thomas, now very much in the... Oh, Speedman taking the intentional death. That was smart. He's still ahead of Thomas. But now it's up to DDD's mercy. The Penguin has complete control over these guys' fates. Anything can happen. Good double hit from Speedman, but he gets bopped. That's taking out 1 more health that he can't use for a double hit. Oh, yep, there comes another double hit from Speedman. And it looks like he's just getting luckier in Penguin as well, besides getting hit. He looks like he's playing somewhat nervously right now, with that in his head. Ooh, 1 health against 2 health DDD. I feel like this is... If he's, I hope he doesn't let the nerves get to him. Thomas in obviously a safer position. Not enough for Thomas to come back. Again, well played from Speedman, but also very lucky in both Cracko fights and the DDD fight. Yeah, that tactical death is something that you're going to see a decent amount from runners going into DDD with 1 health. Thomas with a sub 12 time. However, still not enough to get Speedman. Yeah, this is best of 5. And yeah, much closer than the first race due to the drop in the nip. However, I think that the RNG kind of carried Speedman through that one. Those 20 seconds really could have been like, had the first Cracko fight been switched, had Speedman had Thomas's and Thomas had Speedman's, this could have been a completely different game. It could have even been Thomas's, or even closer. Like, it could have been... It would have been closer, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, this is, this tournament is very strong runners in it. Yeah. As MK Cocoon has just pointed out, both Speedman races have been faster than the second fastest person in this tourney. Yeah, Thomas, trying to break Speedman's sub 12 streak is Alright, getting things sorted for the third race, which at Speedman's level, and no offense to Thomas, looking to be the final race. Kind of scary how good he is. Yeah, Kirby games seem to have like some sort of each game seems to have its like unbeatable legend. And for the long time in this game, it was controller head, but that was in the pre-manip era. So he was iconic for this. He was iconic for his amazing RNG and the playing of Yes's Roundabout in his PB VOD, which is pretty funny, I think. But it's something. We have Wakaza in Kirby Squeak Squad. We have Swordsman Kirby in about 60% of the Kirby game's main series and spin-off. Halo Dude in Nightmare in Dreamland. Yeah, there are some otherworldly runners in this game. In this series, sorry. And we're currently waiting for your Speedman. To ready up. He just needs a few seconds. So Speedman has been going by Speedman and Jumpy Penguin. So if you see either thing on the leaderboard, that's him. He's the god. Not meme. Fuck. Exiton, this is sorry if I mispronounced that, but this is a best of 5. So we're going into game 3, but currently it's shaping up to be Speedman's. And the race will be starting momentarily. Both runners have readied up. I don't know why my volume just went on. Sorry for the feedback. And starting momentarily from both runners, and they're off. If they were synced up perfectly, like if both timers were synced perfectly, they'd be almost identical. But enjoy the, like, stepness of it. It's like, Thomas Speedman, Thomas Speedman. Suck, 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 star, star. Kinda how it is in the first room. And they're kind of in sync with these stars now. Both of them manip the fast bomb. Good job. Oh, Thomas! I don't know if that's going to drop the manip for him, but that's a setback, especially in World 1, when everything is kind of, standard, I guess you could say. It's very non-complex. And Speedman first into the Wispy fight. Unfortunate from Thomas. And Speedman finishing first, Thomas getting 2 puffs. But still finishing with a 133 star grab. I always split end of dance, but it seems that the higher level runners seem to split on grab. Okay, so I just know that Thomas picked up that microphone or whatever, and it damages like the whole room when you spit it out. But it always looked like a 10-gallon hat to me. I'm sorry. It's just what it is. It's what it is in my mind. You just scream at the 10-gallon hat. Oh, Speedman with the low. Thomas with the high one. I can't tell what these guys are doing with their manip. I don't know what the low means on the manip. But again, Speedman going for the curry. Thomas, not. We will hopefully see a good comparison. Yeah. Speedman got the manip, so he's going to get the 1 cycle. And Thomas getting suboptimal patterns here. Yeah, he's decently behind Speedman now. It's unfortunate to see. However, again, Speedman could drop the manip at any time, but being Speedman, we don't know what's gonna happen. And mistakes are very easy to make in this game, especially with like the weird, the fact that turning around in one situation might not be the same as another, or like the time after you spit in one might not be the same as another. It's a weird game. It's got weird properties. Oh, it looks like Thomas cut through the top of where that little hermit crab was. I don't know if I've never seen that before. I don't know if it's fast or slow or what, but all I know is that he did it. Yep, getting up in the blimp's face. That's what you do. Not much to say here. Yeah, the nice thing about this is that you don't have to worry about, like, keeping your health high, because it just gets restored for the next level. Unlike in the refight, where you actually have to worry about your health. Because you have to use it to fight the rest of the bosses. I wonder if Suna has to duck under this Bronto Bird. So sometimes that Bronto Bird can bounce low, like really low, and then you have to actually press down to avoid getting hit. That's kind of humiliating when you do get hit. Or just pressing down slows you down enough to just miss it. Yeah, the beam attacks cause so much lag because it pretty much puts like 5 or 6 extra sprites on screen, like dynamic sprites. And it is taxing on this game's memory. Suna has both runners waiting right just slightly before you hit those two spinning face looking guys. I don't really know what they are. But that's just so they don't get hit. It's not because of anything else. It's kind of nice to be like jumping right on the star like the second spawn, so you just take off. So, mint leaf room again. This is the only time, at least in the run, that you use the mint leaf besides fighting Cracko. So it's kind of funny, I think, that they decided to include it just once. Because you use curry multiple times. I mean, at least more than one, where you have the option to. Yeah, you can use it up to 3 times in the run, but the mint leaf is only there once if you ignore the boss fights where it's mandatory. And we will see how Thomas's Cracko goes. Because Speedman seems to be going well for him right now. Yeah, it looks like he's keeping up the nip. Yeah. Speedman just killing it. Yeah. Ovum, there's a really actually good chance that Speedman can get another sub 11 because he just hasn't dropped him a nip yet. Thomas, on the other hand, has, unfortunately. I don't really like to call it early, but Speedman really has this one in the bag right now. It's his game to lose, as the saying goes. But oh, that's a 2-puff. I don't think that's intentional. We'll see if this has messed anything else up. I don't know what this means, actually. MK, can you fill me in? Does that 2-puff mean anything bad for the rest of the bosses? Yeah, Speedman opting not to go for any of the damage boosts in this, like to get past the Gordos, or to even try and duck one frame and then press up the next to get underneath the Gordo and into the door. March tried to do it against MK Cocoon. However, it was worked once, did not work the rest of the times, and cost him the game. Because those Gordos are insta-kills. It's kind of ridiculous. It's like kind of ridiculous how strong they are. It's I don't know why they decided to do that. Like, I feel like you'd just be testing the waters in this game as like the target audience of like an 8-year-old in this, and you're just like, why is he in front of the door? And you walk into him and it's just like, press like to die instantly. And it's just like, it's harsh. And then you're like, oh, well, maybe it's because I was at low health from whichever boss that I fought. And then you try it again at full health, and then you die. And I really think that's just terrific troll game design. Ooh, Thomas hitting one of the spikes. Those spikes do 3 damage, half your health, and that is not fun to get hit with. Thomas playing this Kabula fight somewhat safely, staying on the left side of the screen, still hitting his shots though, as a good player does. Yeah, Speedman doesn't have the manip for la, but it's not going to really matter too much in the end because he's just so far ahead, and Thomas doesn't have manip either. So the manip goes, if held, goes all the way up to King DDD, but not into the fight until they discovered something else. I think it works if you like just die and enter the fight. But yeah. Yeah, Speedman getting a very good DD. Thomas taking the tactical death, but it's seeming to not might not mean much in the end. 2 hits left for Speedman to secure his place in the next round, as if it really wasn't secured already. Yeah, Thomas not even going for the double hit there. 1120 for Speedman. Unbelievable again. Terrific job. That's like, with the manip, that's faster than like a god tier no manip time. Like, I'm talking Elder God tier, like, no manip time. The old record that stood for many, many years was, I believe, in 1123. Before Speedman came along. Yep, Thomas with an 1154, and he's just out. He just dipped. It appears that Speedman is here. Speedman might be joining the commentary booth for a quick second for interviews, but however, I'm going to try and keep it a bit short because I'd have to kind of have to go soon. Hello, Speedman.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, very well. After watching your terrific races, you played very well, especially in that sub-11 race time. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I was definitely not expecting to do that.
No one expected it. That is unbelievable. And even your last race, an 11:20, you know, faster than the world record that stood for how long before? Like, what you've done to the game is well, you've changed the game much for the better in this. You've made it less of the RNG fest that it was before.
Yeah, I'm really happy with what I've accomplished in the game.
Yeah, and you should be. You've made I think you've made a lot more people actually enjoy grinding for a good time, at least.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. I want to see more people take the game seriously and not dismiss it as a RNG fest.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I'd looked at it for the longest time. And I started playing this game in like 2015. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
at that time, a sub 11 time was top 20.
Wow.
Or, sorry, sub 12.
Wow. But yeah, I do hope that some of the older runners who maybe gave up on the game will come back and take some time to learn some RNG manipulation, get the times down.
Yeah. And as you know, obviously some of the more diligent runners have picked it up. This manipulation was discovered right before the tournament started, and people such as Thomas and MK Cocoon, the degens, have started to figure it out.
Yeah, I know that Cocoon's been working on it a lot, so if I face him next, I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, pretty fearsome, degenerate runner. Yeah, I don't have quite much else to say. I've got to go soon. So if you have any shout outs or mentions that you'd like to make, go ahead. Now's the time.
I can't think of any. GG's to Thomas. He played very well. I mean, I think he had 3 sub 11 times 2 or close to it. So he definitely played very well.
Yeah, he definitely played well. He those times that he put up today were enough to beat most other people in the tournament.
Yeah, if this whole RNG manipulation thing hadn't been discovered, he would definitely have given me a run for my money. I mean, he still did. I mean,
yeah,
this was not an easy win for
me.
me.
Only off by 20 seconds. And then that was just purely because of Cracko.
Right.
But yeah, it's really exceptional. And shoutouts to the great Toddman for organizing this all.
Yes, definitely. And thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting this for us.
Yes, thank you very much to Speed Gaming. And Fiesel and our In-Man Rocks and the whole rest of the crew. And the Restream bots. Shouts to those guys. Alright, well, thank you very much for watching tonight. Thank you for great entertainment, Speedman, and I'm signing off for now, and I'll probably see you guys at a later date.